Well, ahoy there, mateys, and welcome to the latest junk video that hopefully you'll watch. And anyways, won't miss. But today I'm going to get started out here under the chestnut tree, and then go out and do a hive inspection and do my very first Varroa mite check. Never done one of those before. So if you're not aware of those, apparently the Varroa mites are one of the kind of worst things plaguing the honeybees. I guess nationwide today and probably around the world, I think. But me being a new beekeeper, I've learned a little bit about it. So I bought this thing I'm going to do, and there's a couple ways I guess you can check them, but what I'm going to do is try to do the more humane way. I really wanted to get into beekeeping and be like a all naturalist, no chemical kind of beekeeper. So I'd like to kind of stick to that as much as possible. First book I ever read on beekeeping was Beekeeping with a Smile, which was written by a Russian guy. Yeah, I guess a couple Russian guys, but pretty good book, but it's very all natural beekeeping. And that's kind of in line with my dreams of being a dirty hippie dirt farmer. So I'll show you what I got here. I wanted to film this before I suited up, and it's pretty hot today, so I'm hoping to beat the rain. It's just starting to cloud up, and I don't want the bees all angry and sassy with me. So let me flip this around here, and I'll show you what we got. So this is my little wagon we inherited when we got the place, and I use it for a lot of stuff. So inside the 5-gallon bucket, I've made up 2 gallons of sugar water. I think I'm going to go ahead and feed them. I'm not crazy about it, but being the first year, I'm trying to give them some extra energy so they can build up the wax. If you have children, of course, make sure you keep them away from the bucket so they don't drown the bucket, because I guess that happens. But anyways, on to the mite check stuff. So I'm going to use the powdered sugar roll. So in this little thing, I've got about a little over 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons for each hive, apparently. I drop the powdered sugar in here, 2 tablespoons. I'll scoop up the bees. This thing all comes apart. And scoop them up in this white container here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Since I like to run a janky low budget operation here. Scoop them up in here, dump them in, put this top back on, shake them around for a little bit, a minute or two, and I'll dump them upside down, and if it works, the powdered sugar is supposed to dislodge the Varroa mites from the honeybees, and then I will put the bees back on the hive, and they'll be all covered in sugar, and they can kind of have an extra snack. That way it won't kill them. And then I'll do a mite count and see if I need to actually look at doing some sort of treatment for my hive. And if I do, I'll look to do an all-natural treatment. A good friend of mine, Chuck, if Chuck watches this, he gave me some pretty good idea for an all-natural way just to use some, essentially essential oils, I guess. To, you can kind of vaporize into the hive, and I guess it combats them. And he's not any big die-off, so seems like it's working for him for several years. So, I'd rather do that than put some sort of man-made chemical on there, and maybe further their resistance, the mites' resistance to that stuff. Anyways, the funnel is there just to put the sugar water down into the feeders I have. They're those frame heater feeders. The little water bottle back there will be to spray, just to help me identify the mites and get a good mite count, because they'll be covered in sugar as well. And with that, back under my favorite tree, the chestnut tree, and it's already got quite a few on it. This was inherited on the property, and again has kind of started my love for chestnuts, but I'm getting beyond this, so I don't know how my film is going to be out here. It's never great when I'm doing the beehive inspections. It's just me going out there. So I'll see if I can document as best I can and not sweat all over the camera. But anyways, if you are watching, I appreciate it. We'll see you in a few. Okay, back for just a quick, I guess, off-topic thing from the bees. But I was just getting out here, and the blue hive I've got here is kind of underneath this big old hackberry tree. See that crazy bark on that? It's all rough looking. That's a hackberry. We got a bunch on the farm here. But you can see that bark. It's very characteristic of it. And what you may not have known is that you can actually like eat the hackberry. So tried it last fall after they were done, but I'll just show you what they look like here. It looks like some animals have been munching on them. Let's see. So here's one that's been already eaten by something. But in the fall, once the trees kind of go dormant, you know, a lot of bugs eat, or not bugs, but critters like to eat on these. I'm sure birds probably do too, I would imagine. I don't know that, so if I'm wrong, forgive me. Yeah, you see a little seed here. The hackberry. It's kind of hard. Reminds you like a peppercorn. So, and here's a full hackberry that's not yet down to the seed. But they've got an interesting flavor, and I'm a big fan of reading over that foraging chef guy stuff. But anyways, some different things you can try them with them. So let's have a go at this little guy right here. It's out of the shell. Yep. Really no flavor, so I thought I'd try it out and see what happened, but I think the fall and the winter is probably the best time to harvest those because, I don't know, maybe that's when the tree purged because it's no good and that's why it's on the ground already. I don't know, but I thought I'd try it. And if you're interested in learning about the hackberry, I'd encourage you to read about them or watch some videos because there's some cool stuff, or go to the Foraging Chef guy's page and check out some of his stuff he's got going on. But I'm out here. I'm gonna go get my smoker going in a second. So I got all my junk. Instead of traipsing out here, I thought I'd just go ahead and get it going. So let me see if I can maybe set this up somewhere and you can watch me kind of get going, and maybe I can figure out how to speed this up or something. Let me see how this works here. All right, again, I'm a sheer professional. And I just dropped it. Look at that. And I turn. Okay, maybe one day for real I'll actually like do this correctly. But let's get on the smoker first. I did bring another 5-gallon bucket, and so in order to get, you need approximately 300 bees, and then what you do is you can kind of do some basic ass in the grass math on that and figure out how many Varroa mites you have per 300 bees and get an idea if you need to treat the hive or not. So you want a pretty low percentage in there, especially here in the summer, and certainly lower as we go into the fall, because then the bees need to overwinter, and if they're sick with mites hanging on them and sucking out their energy, they kind of live on like the bees' fat. So it's not good for the bees to be able to maintain their energy levels and stay healthy through the winter. So just gonna get a hold of it, and so I'll shake the beehive in this thing, and then I'll scoop them up in there and get approximately 300 bees. There's a line on the mite check container I showed you earlier. That'll be kind of my guide on that, so we'll see if I get stung or not today. I'm kind of considering doing without gloves because the dexterity is just a lot easier. And I've not been stung yet, so I probably will get stung because I'm bragging about it. But I've worn every bit of PPE that I've got. Quick note, if you need a food grade bucket for cheap, Tractor Supply has these. They're pretty cheap, and I used them last winter. I was needing food grade buckets to try to get that black walnut sap out of the trees, and I use these, and now they're just multi-purpose. So I use them for bees now, and this winter I'll probably go for some more sap again. So let's get on smoker here. Timu smoker. I think we've talked about this before. All right, so what I do, I keep some of these good old pine chips I get at Rural King. That's kind of my primary fuel. I like to use the egg carton. Again, look, I'm no pro. If you get on any beekeeping forum on Facebook or anywhere, everybody's got a damned opinion on how to do it. I'm not saying this is the right way, the best way. It's just what works for me. And I think that's the important thing to stress here. Find what works for you. As long as you're not jacking up and doing something horrible to the environment and you're trying to be as sustainable as possible, it's a win. So maybe buying Timu stuff from China, maybe that's not sustainable, but I'm also a cheap bastard, so pardon my language. Do what I can. Anyways. So I like to light that egg carton going a little bit. just smoldering, so I'm going to give it a little bit more of this. Alright, now I got a flame down in there. I don't know if you can see those coming out. And once it's going good, well, I do. So give me a handful or two of this. Make sure the flames are going good. I don't know if you can see that. Again, I'm filming this with the phone, so probably not the best quality stuff, but alright, she's going. Trying to burn myself. I'm just going to drop these chips right down in there. These pine shavings, they do a pretty good job. And I think one of the keys is to really cram it down in there. I have a part of this Hives to Heroes group. There's also Heroes for Hives. Hives to Heroes got an online, like, basically classes you can take, and you can actually test out at the end and become a beekeeper, like a certified. I'm really probably jacking up the language and what the proper language is, but the main instructor, the gentleman out of Michigan, he does a really good job. I liked his explanation on how to get the smoker going, because I tried to use some bro science before and it wouldn't last very long. So ideally you want the smoker to last a good long while, so you can go out here, and if you're inefficient like me, then it'll keep lasting you. And if you're not familiar with the smoker, as I understand it, it helps disrupt the bees' communication signals, which they often use like pheromones. And purportedly it also, the smoke may think them that there's a fire going, so they'll tend to go away from you, and they don't worry about you as the beekeeper while you're messing around with their hive. I'm sure it's not foolproof, but anyways. Get a few puffs here. See that smoke going? All right. And with that, we'll suit up and get going. All right. Sure, this is very exciting at home for you viewers. Gangly suit, but I don't want to get stung. I don't know if anybody does enjoy bee stings. There are people out there that say stuff like that bee stings can be quite healthy, and apparently there's some story where, was it Lyme disease maybe the lady got from a tick bite, and was kind of on her deathbed and went out to California for euthanasia, went out for a walk, got stung by a bunch of bees. Make sure that thing's going. And then something with the bee venom like cured her, which was kind of an interesting story. So, and I will tell you, if you're not familiar with bees, the smell of the hives is really wonderful. So just good stuff. Anyways, I'm rambling. That's what I do. If you watch these, then, well, no, I appreciate it. And apparently, so I've been told, I think one of the best things to wear is the veil over your head, because purportedly bees are attracted to, in their defense, carbon dioxide, which we exhale as human beings, or many other mammals do as well. So they go sting you right in the kisser, and I don't want that to happen. So, oh man, get my knife out. Well, I'm getting ready to go here. Might need that for something. All right. Can be a little bit cumbersome getting this all figured up and on, but it works. All right. I'm sure any beekeeper worth their salt could poke a lot of holes in all the stuff I'm telling you, or call me an idiot, and that's okay. I'm just a new guy trying to figure things out and keeping an open mind about it. I'm really just enjoying the process, because it's really cool to see these guys and gals, I should say, out here handling their business, and really just how they do everything. It's pretty amazing. And I guess bees are known as a super organism. Let me check down here. I want to make sure there's no holes, and there's a hole. That'd be bad. Yeah. Prime way for a bee to hop right up in there and get stung right on the nose or lips. and that would suck. So I hope you can hear me okay. If not, I guess this whole video is going to be trash, but all right, that looks much better. Put her down here. We'll go ahead and do the go ahead and feed them first. All right, so get my funnel ready. I'll feed them, and then I'll go ahead and look at that Timu hive tool. Oh yeah, it works. Didn't break the bank. You might be able to hear the pigs over there. They're kind of snorting at me. They're one of their pens is right behind here. If you've watched any pig videos, you probably know that already. All right, good to go. I'll grab my phone here and see if I can get it set up in the hives. All right, I'm gonna drop my smoker. Knocked it over at least. Great picture of me right there, huh? All right, turn. All right, opening of the hive. And look at all of them right there hanging out. How y'all doing? So again, I don't know if I've talked about it in previous videos, but this was a really strong nucleus colony, or nuke as they call it, when I got it. But the smaller one in the white hive over there, it just exploded, and this one stayed seemingly pretty small. I'm sure it's something I did or didn't do. Let me see if that'll work there. All right. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of smoke here. So I want to be able to get this funnel down here without killing or drowning any of these girls. Kind of gets a good one. All right. Funnel. Bucket. Nothing fancy. Put the funnel right in the hole. What I use, I've been using at least for my sugar, is just 2 4-pound bags of sugar and then 1 gallon of hot water. And I just mix together with a large wooden spoon in my kitchen. Each one of these frame feeders holds a gallon, so I just eyeball until they're full and try to give them that extra energy. Last time I was out here, I put in a queen excluder because I'm trying to get them to build some frames just strictly with honey. As a first-year beekeeper, I'd really like to harvest just a little bit of our own honey. That'd feel like a successful year. Then I believe the plan is after that, you have these colonies, they get stronger. If you can get them through the winter, then the next year they'll tend to make you a lot more honey, as I understand it. So that's the plan, at least. This one's looking pretty full. So yeah. All right, put the top back on this thing, and then I guess we'll get down to the mite check. You know what? Scratch that. Let's go on down, and we'll feed the other hive first. Oof, I've got some bees drowning in here. I don't want to drown in the sugar, so I'm going to try to get them out. Grab my knife. Why grab a knife when you have a hive tool, right? Set these guys down here. A couple of them are covered in sugar. Double-edged sword, I guess, with feeding them. Yeah, I'm like, I want to try to keep as many bees alive as I can. Got no desire to kill them or take care of them in an irresponsible way. Small dead ones. All right. These chickens are throwing a fit back there. I thought it was my kids yelling at me for a second. I tried to tell them, like, I'll be back in the bee yard, so if you need me, you know where I'm at. Don't just come out of the house and start yelling at me like they like to do. That I can't hear them this far away. Ant on my screen there. All right. I'm going to leave this one just open for a bit. Let's run over here and we'll knock out the other one. You don't want to watch me. Let's go over here. Chestnut tree's looking pretty good. What kind we got here? Gillet. That one was grafted. My other one died, unfortunately. Yeah. I probably talk about the same chestnut trees in every video. Man! Alright. It's too bad poison ivy's not a good crop. I say it too, but geez, it's everywhere. Alright, so this has been the bigger hive. Let's see if there's a big difference when we open this bad boy up. Boy, they've got this thing kind of sealed shut. Wow, look at them all. Oh man, that's a lot. A lot of bees. Alright, the one was just crawling on my hand there, so hoping I don't get stung, but I have to move this divider board, which is this one. In the future, I could put more frames in here and grow it. But anyways, not right now. Let's just lift this off, see if I can get access to the feeder. There we go. You can see down there, it's pretty dry. They're still down there checking it out. There's my white Temu frame I put in last time. It's got the ideally they'll make honeycomb on it, so I might have to get greedy and take a peek. It's only been 2 weeks, so I can't imagine they would have done a lot on it, but I'll probably do that later after the mite check. So anyways, let's get to watering these, feeding these ones. Alright, I don't even know where a good place to put this is at. Got so many daggone bees, which is good. See how that looks. Be good enough. Get your hive tool up here. You know, I think the whole thing with beekeeping is that people like it so much is because you're supposed to be present and go slow, not be in a hurry. So I think I gotta be kind of careful with this video because I get focused on doing this video and not paying attention. So if I don't talk a whole lot, I'm just trying to focus. And you get that presence, which is really good for relieving stress and that kind of business. Alright. So yes, even though I'm feeding them, they could be getting angry with me and decide they don't like me here and let me know about it. And that's just their nature. Looking pretty good. I'll watch the other one. So I didn't set these beehives up on a exact level area, so the other side of the frame over there is what I'm watching, even though you probably can't see me watching over there because I'll be able to see how much sugar water I'm getting in there, and it's getting there. What I don't want to do is just dump it all over inside their hive. They'll clean it up, I'm sure. Oh yeah. It's like Folgers. Good to the last drop. Okay. So with that, I make sure none are drowning in there. Just put the top back on, and yeah, looks like I'm try to save a few from out of here so they don't drown. Knock some of these bees off there on my hive tool. Okay. Alright. I think I got them all on that side. Let's check this other side. Yeah, there's a couple down in there. Alright, y'all. Come on. This one's like scuba diving. Come on now. Get hold of that. Have to get my knife down in there. Use a stick instead. The hive tool's a little. There we go. All right. I think we got them all saved out of there, thank God. So, yeah. See, man. Can you bring my smoker down here? How about that? Try not to smush these. Girls, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut the top back on this one. We'll come back in a little bit. I'm gonna do the hive check on the other hive first. I don't know why I keep that board like that, I just do, but man, I wonder if they need more room. I've put a lot of frames in here, so we'll do maybe a bigger hive inspection on this one. Clearly it's just still growing, and they're working some of these other frames. You can see under these boards here, they're still working them. Look at down there. So yeah, hopefully they're making some honey. If you've not had honeycomb, I can't encourage you enough to go out and find a local beekeeper and buy some. Pick some up at a farmer's market. It's, man, truly like nature's candy, and really good. All right, come back to that one in a minute. I think it's that special time. So with this one, I think I'm going to put the camera back like I had last time. Dude, I also brought this. Didn't mean to do that. But let me flip it back around again. Sorry about that. Quality film work. I'm going to use this old white Tupperware top to kind of use to contrast the mites on, and we'll see what we get. So see if I can get this back and forth. Let me get set up, and then I'm going to pull a frame out, and I'm going to set the phone over here like I did earlier. Let's see if I can do this and get the whole thing. Maybe you can see it working, maybe not. All right, let's get down to it. I do think I'm going to put my gloves on because it's not that self-confident. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the powdered sugar into the cup. 2 tablespoons. And I left my tablespoon. Try to get as prepared as possible before I go messing with them. You know, it's amazing. We got like a whole set of these Tupperware containers. Probably 7, 8 of these little ones. This is the only complete set I could find. They're like socks. They just disappear. It's the damnedest thing. No idea where they go. All right. Sweet Colombian powder here. 1. Okay, that's not. All right. There we go. 2. Go ahead and try to put this stuff back up. Got my powder in there. I'm gonna take my bees. In a second, I'm gonna put them in here after I get the frame out. Gotta find a good frame that's hopefully with a bunch of capped brood, which means brood that's sealed up and just waiting to hatch more or less from the frames. And I gotta make sure that I don't put the queen in there, because then I could potentially harm or kill the queen, and then that's just bad news. So, all right, let's put this stuff back. I'll go ahead and glove up because I'm a big sissy, and we'll move on. Left my smoker down here, man. All right. Do certainly have a lot more dexterity. I'm just not confident enough yet. My beekeeping abilities not to get the hell stung out of me on a regular basis. So I'm gonna do everything I can. Been stung by bees before when I was younger. Never had any allergic reactions. But after about 30-some years of some hard living, who knows? Who knows if my health is still good, and I got No allergies to bees. Responsibly, probably should have gotten tested before I got started, but I didn't. All right. So I may have to take them off. I'd like to get some good pictures of the hives and the frames here in a few, so I can just take a good look at the bees. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get some pictures, but I'll do some video or something with it. Anyways, let's see if I can do this. I probably can't, because I'm going to switch this around for now, and hopefully you can see me get a frame out. We'll get the hive tool ready. Now one, wow. Okay. I'm just kind of curious how they're doing with the some of these other frames, if they're building just some strict honey stores yet. So let's take a look. Probably just piss some bees off there, and that'll happen. All right. All right, that frame looks like they're not even working it. All right. Well, let's have a look. Let's see, I put this queen excluder in. Can you see this yellow here? That's the queen excluder. But, again, I may not be such a pro where I've got it in good enough to keep the queen from getting in there. So I just want to pull one of these out, see if there's any brood, or hopefully only honey being laid and stored on this frame. And man, it's really not a thing on this one. So yeah, they got a lot of space, and I don't see anything on here. So there we go. I take some screenshots of that later and just see if I've got any. Let's have a look at this other one real quick. I'm going to set this one down out here. So it's a little bit closer to the center. Well, that's pretty basic too. This is the better comb stuff I've talked about before. And the other hive really seemed to take to it pretty quick. I'm just going to hold it up here. Look at some of these guys and gals. Hopefully get some pictures there. All right. All right, I'm getting sidetracked. It's what I do. You ask my wife, she would tell you. She would agree. Easily distracted with this stuff. It's like quite a racket down in there. Okay. Let's get back to the test, right? I'm going to smoke these girls down just a little bit. I don't want to crush any. Get a little janky redneck on this. It's the way this hive's designed. I really should have talked to the guy I bought them from. Yes, I bought used hives because, well, I didn't know any better, and this is the kind of hive I wanted. Really probably should have asked some more questions, but I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. One thing I thought about is maybe needing a different style tops or something for this. So, anyways, let's go down and try to get the center of it and pull out a good brood frame. All right. So I put these, basically they're Swiffer sheets in last time to help kind of catch and trap hive beetles. I was starting to see an uptick of these hive beetles in here. I didn't like that. So, put that in there to catch them, and all right. Work on this frame here and see what we got. Hoping this video is not too crappy. If it is, I sincerely apologize. All right. Wow. So, well, it's actually quite empty. Let's just take a look around it. I've got some honey on there. Go look down here and see if I can see any eggs. Maybe there's some cat brood on there. All right. So I think I'll use this frame. I'll go for it. It's got quite a few bees. I'm gonna get it close there, see if I can take a screenshot again. Let me just make sure the queen's not on here. And not seeing her on that side. That'd be a bad thing, right? There's some definite honey on there. Right. All right, good people. Let me see if I can get this camera flopped around here, and we're gonna get to it. Be needing this and this. And let's go with this. All right, sorry about that. All right. Boy, it's hard to see with all this stuff on. There we are. At the top, got the sugar. All right, so it's time to shake them into the bucket, and then we're gonna see if we can get about 300 bees out and shake them up. Ready? Boy, they are really getting after it. All right. All right, I got some in there. Where are we at here? All right, they're all there. I'll put this on. Oof, actually smushed one. And then I think I just gently for about a minute roll them over. Just gonna bro science guess it. I don't want to do it too hard because I don't want to kill them, but I want the sugar to really get on there and dislodge any of those mites that are on there, so I can get hopefully a good count. Damn, killed 2 of those in there. That stinks. I guess the thing is if I use the alcohol though, then I'd kill approximately 300 of them. And I didn't want to do that. Man, get them all down there. Not happy bees. So after I roll this for about a minute, I'm supposed to let it sit for 3 minutes just for any to dislodge and fall off. So I'd say I've rolled these guys for about a minute now. I'm gonna let it sit. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna put this frame back in and see if I can just dump these bees back in there as well. So, with that, yeah, let's get to it. That smoker out there. Oh, all right, they're really having a big time in there, I'm sure. Okay. Let me try to I'm gonna try to just shake these girls back down in there. Man. All right. A lot of bees. Okay. Just pull one of these off. And give them a good shake right down in here. And hopefully they can figure out how to get back down into there. And I'm going to be honest, really glad I got my gloves right now because they're like all around. And yeah, thanks for the suit as well. All right, I'd say we're getting close to 3 minutes. My watch is under here and I can't see it, so just guesstimating. So let's grab the phone and see if I can somehow document this. All right, so I'm gonna, yeah, this is gonna be tough. See if I can flip this around. These gloves, yeah, the touchpad doesn't help. So anyways, bees are down in there. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. All right. Let's do this. Flip it back around. Oh no. Alright, anyways, that's me. Right. And we'll shake again. Unscrew. Alright, so I got a lot of sugar down in here. Alright. I'm gonna go let these guys, wow, my phone is covered in sugar. Take these all back to the hive. Let them go. Sorry about that, girls. All right. One more, hanging on. All right. You know, at this point, I'm probably just doing a really crappy job with the video. Seriously, I wish you could see my phone screen. It's got sugar all over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop here. I'll try to just give you the results later or get some pictures as I go. Because I'm just rambling at this point and not doing much of anything educational, I don't think. If you feel otherwise, let me know. But I don't have a lot of good editing skills. So we'll see. All right. I'll let you in a bit. All right. So first time I didn't find any. I tried a little bit more shaking on the second one. I just finished. And so I dumped the water, or the powdered sugar out. I can't tell how good this is. I'm getting a reflection out here. I know I can see a little bit of the black dot. Those are the Varroa mites right there. And so I got approximately 300 bees. Let's actually get a count here. It's looking like I'm gonna be over a threshold where I do need to treat. So let me try to zoom out. I'm not sure how well you guys can see in this thing. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so 8 out of 300. I'll do the math, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to treat these guys and gals at some point because I think that's going to be over the proper threshold for this time of the year, which I think, if I recall, is 3%. Anyways, kind of sucks to know that they're actually here after learning so much about them and how much they affect these colonies and make the bees sick and drain the bees' energy. And you can see how small they are. So, anyways, these girls here, they look like they just got back from a big party. But they'll get themselves cleaned up, and I didn't have to kill 300 bees. Do know I've got a pretty heavy, looks like Varroa population in here. So anyways, that'll be the next thing to figure out, and start working on that and see if we can get something sustainable in here, like I talked about in the beginning of the video. So stinks, but I was really hoping that for some reason I'd be like different and would not have the Varroa mites, but as everybody said, and any beekeeping training I've been to or watched, they are here. It seems they're here to stay, and hopefully these bees or girls can just over time find a way naturally to combat them. I know some bees, I think in some areas, will actually like bite the mites. Doesn't seem like most of the bees here are actually doing that, but anyways, I'll wrap this up for now, and yeah, appreciate you watching. And this might be a horrible picture because, again, there's still powdered sugar all over my screen, and I'm still wearing my gloves. Don't want to jack around, and they do seem like they're pretty sassy right now. They're all flustered, so I try to get them smoked pretty good and get them back into the this back end. So I'll see if I can get a video for you where you can actually see that without smushing any bees here. Hopefully you guys. Okay, so the hive checks are all done, and I don't know if I'm gonna get honey this year or not. I guess it's gonna be okay. There's plenty of good beekeepers in the area. So just have to face the reality that I got the Varroa mites in there, and gonna have to treat them to take care of the bees so they can survive and thrive and do what they're supposed to do. So I am now gonna have to research on what it's gonna take. Again, my friend Chuck had a pretty sweet setup. He said didn't cost very much, so I'll have to research that and learn it, and then try to get them treated here in the very near future so I can knock those mites back a little bit and let them continue to grow without being held down by these nasty mites. Anyways, I'll wrap it up. I appreciate you guys watching as always. If you get to the video at this point, thanks for watching the whole darn thing. And I've got a lot of editing to do, so I'll figure it out. But you folks have a great day, and again, thanks so much.